might make me do it landscape, which that's okay. Oh my goodness, we are trying to get set up here, guys. Let me see how it's gonna do. It might insist that we do it this way. Oh, about dropped. Uh-oh, now it's making us go this way. How about if I hold it?
Oh, wow. Okay, that's the old-fashioned way. That's the way we're going to do this thing.
Okay, so we'll give some people some time to sign on here just a minute. There we go. So we have been at a Money Max conference?
Symposium? Conference?
Yeah, it was super good though, super good. Let's let some more people sign on here just a minute before we start having our conversation. But I loved this conference. This was one of the best that I've ever been to. Lots of information, lots of needed information for the American people, and so many exciting things that Money Max is getting ready to release. I don't guess we'll talk about that now, but super excited that I was able to join because you know what? Not only was the creator of Money Max here, and if you've been watching my videos for any amount of time, you know that I'm super excited about John Washenko because he has designed a system that helps you to do velocity banking without you doing those or guesswork on the velocity banking where you're transferring the money, right? So we move from a line of credit over to a debt to pay off debt, which is what we want to do. But Money Max has a system that actually tells you where to put the money. So if you've heard me talk about this before, you know that I have hundreds of clients in the Money Max, and how I started with the Money Max was trying to help people that had the high DTI or had the low credit score, and they were not able to get any kind of line of credit. The bank won't touch you if you don't have a good credit score, right? Hello, Roberta. She's with me a lot. Thank you so much. Okay, so we're going to let you guys sign on here just a second. It's the algorithm, or what is that called, where the YouTube decides to send it out or not?
Oh, the algorithm
I
of
guess.
YouTube, yeah.
So I'm going to try to set this up here because I think that we're going to be
The
fine.
YouTube master.
I don't know
That
if
guy's
this is
crazy
going to
anyway.
work or not.
Hey, there you go.
I feel like a crazy person. Oh my gosh, I'm just all to pieces. We have had such a good event. Adeline says, I love you. I love you.
Man,
Thank you
that's
so
so
much
nice.
for saying that. I appreciate that. I've learned so much that I never knew about the credit card, what the credit card can do to my credit, but I have secured credit. Well, that works too, right? The idea is giving you options. Guys, you know I've told you my story. I was so tired of being broke. I was so tired of not having any money. If you're in the house, you can like post something in the comments because, you know, my kids wanted to go to that bookstore that they bring into the library at the elementary school, right? And we're talking 15 years ago now. But I did not have $5 to send with them. And to think that you don't have $5 to give your kids so that they can do something even fun, much less, what's that called, the book thing they bring into the library?
Yeah, like the bookmobile or something like that.
I think that's back in your day.
Yeah, I did.
I'm talking about,
I'm just 29. I don't know. It's like, I do remember that though.
Yeah.
Where, you could
I
go
can't
in and buy
remember
books.
what they call that. Guys, if
like
you
the book
remember what the Scholastic, okay, all right.
Oh, man,
So
okay,
maybe that
someone's
was
got
the
it.
word. Thank you,
Okay.
Chantel. But I did not have $5 to give my daughters so that they could go to this bookstore. And, you know, kids they just want to do stuff that the other kids are doing. So if you're in that situation, I feel for you. But I'm also here to tell you that you are going to get free. I mean,
Amen.
If you have a will to get free financially, you're going to make it happen. I had a will, I just didn't know what to do. So with creating the VANNtastic channel, it is nothing but information. It's nothing but options so that you can get the answers that you need in your financial need, whatever that is. The Money Max was introduced to me because I went out looking. I was still looking, even though I was out of debt. I'm totally financially free. My money now is used where I want to use it for what I want to use it, without just throwing money away every month. But when I have clients that can't get the line of credit of any sort, and maybe their credit cards are maxed out, I had no options for them. I didn't know what to do. So I went looking for, knowing there had to be another answer. I had asked God for wisdom, and I knew that he was going to answer. And guess what, guys? He did, through Money Max. The creator of Money Max was at this conference as well, and he has left. If you didn't see him on TikTok just now on my VANNtastic channel, or is that called a channel on TikTok?
Okay, today.
Okay.
Hey, we're calling it a channel over on TikTok.
I'm sorry,
today.
I don't know about social media. I just try to push information to people. But he was here earlier, and we've been in this awesome conference that was talking about how to get people free without trying to figure it out with a line of
Rob.
credit.
That's Rob.
Hi, oh,
Hey,
right.
Rob.
How cool is that?
Yeah,
Okay.
good to see you.
He says, my wife and I are new to Money Max, and we are super excited to get started. We're already seeing the debt GPS work. God bless you guys. Thank you so much, Robert, and thank you for that. All day long, I get these comments. I get people sending me emails telling me how well the Money Max is working for them and how happy and free they feel. And you know, Rick, I remember when I first started using Velocity Banking, I felt like I was financially free on the first day that I learned about Velocity Banking and started using a credit card. So I know, guys, you may not be in that shape, but I literally had a $700 credit card to start with Velocity Banking. Had I known about Money Max and what it does to come in and eliminate debt, I would have found a way to get into that as well, because it could have been working on all of my debt, not just one debt at a time, because that's all I could afford to do was that one debt at a time. So with Money Max, though, they do a free personal analysis. They're going to tell you if the system can work for you. So you're not going to be just stepping into something that you have no idea about. They're going to run your numbers, your income, and they're going to tell you if this is something that will work for you or not. So give us an overview, Rick, of what the Money Max actually does.
Well, the big thing is this, is that it sees all of your income, number one. This actually, can I just tell my little financial GPS story?
Do it.
You know, here's the thing. GPS will get you right to the front door of anywhere you want to go. Today, it's used by everybody in the world. In fact, if you wanted to go ahead and know that favorite fishing hole, you can actually drop a pin right there and go back fishing in that same hole next week. That's how good GPS is.
I didn't know it did that.
Oh yeah, it sure does. It does exactly. You can go right back to the same spot, right? And just hope that good fish. Right?
See if it's still there.
Yeah, exactly. But what it does is, but think about GPS. What does it do? It only does two things. That's all it does. It gives you instructions, and it gives you an ETA. That's all it does. Well, imagine if you could have something like that, though, for your finances.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Something that would go ahead and you mean it's going to give me instructions? Mm-hmm. Yes, that's what it's going to do. Not to get to grandma's house, but get to the destination that financially everybody wants to go to.
Wow.
Which is zero debt.
Right.
That's where everybody wants to go.
Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah, because what does debt freedom mean? Debt freedom does not mean that you can, okay, now I can pay all my bills. Mm-hmm. Thank goodness, man, I'm free. Woo.
Yeah.
Yeah, and okay, that's not free.
That's what they want you to do, is just pay your payments.
Right.
They just want you to make those payments.
Right, but that's not freedom. That's not what freedom is. Freedom is when you can wake up when, like at the crack of Price is Right. Okay, when you don't have to worry about your job, when you don't have to worry about any of that, that's financial freedom.
Right.
And that's what we're hoping we bring. And so think about this. Here's a system that actually knows your financial coordinates, just like GPS would know your on-earth coordinates. This would know your financial coordinates, which means it would know the balances of each of your creditors. It would know what the interest rates are. It would even know what the statement dates and the due dates are. It would know all of that info. And then at the end of the month, after all the groceries have been bought, all the utility bills have already been paid, it sees what is left over. That leftover number is called cash flow, is what it is. Now, a lot of people believe that they know what their cash flow is, but I'm going to tell them right now, 99.9% don't, and here's why. Because Thanksgiving comes, and what happens in Thanksgiving? You spend more money on groceries. Well, that means my cash flow changed.
Right.
Christmas comes, I change my cash flow again. My utility bills during summer are higher than they are during the winter.
Right.
My cash flow is changing, and your cash flow is changing every single month. Well, imagine at the end of the month that this system, the Money Max account, sees what your cash flow is and then tells you exactly what to do with it. Now, it could mean that it's going to give extra money toward your mortgage. It could mean that it's going to give extra money toward a credit card. It could mean that it's going to do some for the mortgage and some for the credit card. It knows the exact mathematics to rapidly eliminate everyone's debt. It doesn't matter who they are. It doesn't matter the type of debt. The credit cards, student loans. How many people would, if you knew that your student loan was going to be a negative AM loan, make a payment, the balance goes up.
Right,
Right.
that's what happens.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. If you knew that it was a negative AM loan, you may not have ever taken it out. But that's what happens, is that we don't know and we take the quick fix. So let me go put money on my credit card. And guess, now sometimes you need to. You got to get the student loan. I want to go to school, right? I want to do that. I need to get the car fixed, so I need to put it on my credit card. But what you don't have to do is pay the interest. It actually says there on the document that you don't have to, it says there's no prepayment penalty, which means you can pay it off early and not have to pay all the interest. And then right below that, there's a space. That's where the instructions would normally go, but they left them off.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
right? They didn't put the instructions on there, right? Because the bank is not your friend. They're not going to show you how to get rid of it easy.
Right.
But that's what you do, right?
Yeah.
You show them that. You show them how to get rid of it easy, and
Right.
using Velocity Banking. I try to show them using what is an automated version of Velocity Banking. Same thing. Use a line of credit if that's what they want to do. If you can't get a line of credit, we got good news. You don't actually have to have a line
Right,
of
did
credit.
you hear that?
The,
If you can't get approved for a line of credit, MoneyMax can still help you. That's what's the miracle worker here.
Exactly, and so that you can actually have the breakthrough that you're really looking for. Every client can. It's just that, but the cash flow is a moving target. In some months, guess what?
We don't have any.
That's exactly right. We don't have any cash flow. Well, does that mean everything is broke? No. If you took a wrong turn, or you just decided, like me, to stop by the donut store on the way to on the way to Grandma's house. And so, but if you decided to take a detour, or you one month did not have cash flow, well, the Money Max just reroutes.
Right.
Is what it does. It just reroutes, recalculates, and puts you right back on the fastest track the following month. And so, and that's really the secret sauce. That's what we've all been looking for.
Yeah.
How do we beat the bank at the bank's game? Because that's what they've got, a good game, right? And so, and it's possible.
I'm going to stop him because this conference we were just at, it makes me want to go out and buy a mortgage or to get into another mortgage, because I know that the MoneyMax system is going to eliminate how much percent? What do you say?
Well, it depends on the individual, and it's different for everybody, but typically 50, 60, 70. Some of your clients have even eliminated 80 and even 90% of the interest.
Right.
And so it just depends on their circumstances, and it doesn't depend on, you don't have to have, oh, he's got that person, 90% person must have had thousands of dollars of cash flow. That's not how it works.
Right.
There was a realtor in Texas that, Christy, you connected me with. The guy had just recently had a stroke. He had 28 and a half years to go on his mortgage. He had a stroke. He was, like I mentioned, he was a realtor in Texas. His wife really didn't know what she was going to do. He was going to be laid up for quite a while. At the end of the analysis, all they had was $149 left over. Pay all their bills, buy all their groceries, all the utility bills. They've got $149 left over. Money Max was able to take them down to just a flat 8 years.
Wow.
96 payments is what it said.
That's crazy.
That's what it said, 96 payments. And so 28 and a half years. Now, so if the bank called you up today and said that, and now it's gonna be crazy, it's gonna be a weird call because it's Saturday, right? Yeah. But the bank calls you up today and says, if you can get down here in an hour, we're gonna knock out 28 years of payments for you.
Wow. I'd be running to the bank.
Yeah, well, that's what we do every day for your clients.
That's 2 decades. That is
Yeah.
2 decades of your hard-earned cash that you're going out and working at least an 8-hour day for.
Yeah.
20 years is now available for you to do so many other things besides pay that
Right.
one debt.
Well, that's just exactly right. Some of you, imagine if you didn't have to pay the debt. What would you be doing with the money? Maybe help your mom and dad?
Yeah.
Help your kids, maybe?
Yes.
Grandkids, taking care of grandbabies, right? What's it say? A good man will leave an inheritance to his children's children, right?
Right, exactly.
And so is that who you're gonna be? It's who I wanna be. I hope that you all wanna be that way. We just want better. But the system, and I hate to say this, but it is rigged against you.
It is.
It's
They're
rigged
making
against you.
money, and I'm not mad at them for making money
No.
because, we all want to make money, but not on the backs of a hard-working person.
Yeah, well,
You know?
it's their business. That's the business that they're in, and so I get it, and we do need them because
Yeah.
nobody's going to go out and buy $400,000 cash home
Right.
or whatever, and so we do need them, but we don't have to pay the interest tab.
And people don't know that. People do not understand that it's a system, and call it rigged or however you want to say it nicely. But the thing is that you don't have to have, $800,000 in a 400,000 home that you wanted to provide for your family.
That's exactly right. The thing is that where most people are today is probably good enough, is what it really is.
Right.
And so you're probably what you earn today is probably good enough. Even though what I've learned is everybody thinks their debt is ugly. I get it, and so it's like debt is ugly.
Right.
But it's okay to get rid of it too. You don't have to live with the pain.
Right.
And so many people believe that, well, it's just my lot in life, Christy. I got to live.
And I'm doing what I'm told to do. I'm making the payments. I mean, they say this is going to pay off, but what happens? What happens when you have been making that house payment or that car payment or whatever? But let's go to the mortgage. Let's say you've been making that payment for 3, 4, 5 years. What do you get in the mail? Well, you get refinance papers, because guess what? You think, if you're like me, you think, oh, okay, they're rewarding me. I'm going to get refinanced here, and they're going to give me $25,000 of my equity. Yay! I know you're thinking it, because I thought it too. But what did they really do? They just reset all of that interest you already paid.
Yeah.
You're going to get to pay it again. Yay!
Yeah.
No.
That's actually a trap, because what's crazy about it is if you take a look at the interest that they were paying per month, sometimes they'll refinance into a situation to where, my interest rate's lower. Right, but now you've got 30 years and you're actually paying more money.
More.
More
That's so
interest
sad.
now. Yeah, and
That's
so
so sad.
I even actually ran across one of your clients where, again, lending sometimes can be predatory, right? And they actually convinced that lady, and she was like in her 70s. They convinced her to refinance 2 times in the same year.
Oh my goodness.
2 times in the same year. That was somebody that was talking her into something just so that they could get paid, and that's what's going on in the world. I was talking with an insurance agent, and he said, "Man, I just bought a list of 50,000 brand new homeowners." I said, "Really? Well, what are you going to do?" He said, "Man, you kidding me? I'm going to go sell mortgage protection insurance."
Oh gosh. Oh my
and so
gosh.
all they're thinking is how to go ahead and take money from the consumer, right?
Right.
And so
My grandmother, because you said that the older lady, bless her, every day of her life was spent in watching her money go out in payments. And I mean, she was 76 when she died, but I remember that so well. I'll just refinance the house and pay for the roof. I'll just refinance the house and, buy another car. And she stayed so in debt with her mortgage that when she died, it was at the value. The value of the home and the mortgage was side by side. So who could afford to take over the home and, do it right?
Right. She floated life.
Yeah.
Is what she did. She just
did.
floated
Bless
life.
her. That's all she knew to
Yeah.
do, though.
Yeah. And that's what, it's so sad. I am not kidding you. This is heartbreaking because we have all gone through something. Okay. Every one of us financially have gone through something. I remember when I first, I went through a little thing where I lost my home, I lost my car, and let me tell you about, number one, being in debt is not your fault, okay? That's not
Right.
what this is.
That's what I
And
say.
so I don't, okay, good, because that's not what it is. But let me tell you, when I was younger, okay, I know I look like I'm 29, but when I was really 29, okay, I remember the credit card companies calling me all the time, asking me for a payment. You got to make a payment. You got to make a
Yep.
payment. You got to make a payment. And I started working my way out, is what I did. But back then, when you'd give them the credit card, they'd run it through a machine, and the machine could say, keep card.
Yes, I had one of mine done that way. I
Man.
remember.
Man, I want to tell you, for years, even after I'd got even my credit was back above 700, I was doing really well. I'd be in that line at the grocery store, handing
Me
my
too.
card. Man, I was petrified
Wow.
that they
Me
might
too.
keep card, man.
Me too.
And so what it did is it hurt me emotionally inside, is what it did. And so all of a sudden, here I am living with that financial pain. I tried my best. I just got behind. I ended up becoming unemployed, and it just happened. I made a bad business decision, listened to somebody else instead of following my own heart, and it just happens like that.
Right.
Life
Right.
just sneaks up on
Have
you.
you ever been at an ATM and it suck your card in and not give it back?
Oh man. Oh, I would
I've
be
had that happen
devastated.
before.
Yeah.
Oh,
Then the screen sticks its tongue out at you.
I remember, have you ever done this? I remember when I was
Wow.
broke, for some reason, when you need 20 bucks, you need 20 bucks. So I couldn't get it out of the ATM that I was at. And my dumb mind was saying, oh, I'll go to another ATM and try it at 20 bucks. If you ain't got it, you ain't got it.
Yeah.
So it ended up sucking my card in. I'll never forget that, because used to they would take them in, the ATM would, and I guess it knew, hey, she's trying to take money where there isn't none,
Bandit.
and they took it. So, and how many times have I been at the grocery store and my card declined?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, wow, it's so
that thing
embarrassing.
right there. It is. And all of a sudden now you're trying to think, okay, I don't need this, I don't need this, I don't need this. Okay, I don't need the milk. What? Wait a minute.
Exactly.
I don't need the eggs. I don't need, and you're trying to decide what groceries. Next thing you know, you're working on your cardboard and ramen noodle diet kind of
I've done
thing.
that. I know.
Yeah. You know what? Hey, I have too. I remember what it was like. I picked tomato sauce and pasta.
Yeah.
You guys are gonna love this.
It's so sad what people go through.
Well, that's just it. And you know what? Here's what I've learned is we're all highly optimistic. We all believe that the future will be better.
Good. Yes, we should.
That's a good thought. That's a good mindset. But not if you're still using the old way of thinking
Right.
to try to get to the new destination.
Right.
That old way of thinking is what, has anybody here ever made a financial mistake? Anybody ever, other than me and Christy, other than us, anybody
Yeah.
ever made a financial mistake? But we can afford them once or twice maybe, right?
Right.
But we can't afford to do them over and over and
Right.
over and over and over. And for instance, if you knew that you were gonna round up your credit card, and then I showed you that rounding up that you just did you just gave them that $20 for free.
I've done that.
Okay, yeah. You didn't know that you would. You thought that the $20 extra would have gone toward the principal,
Right.
but you didn't know when to pay. And so you paid according to their rule. Well, they've got when it switches, your payment is based on APR, right?
Right.
But if you're going to give extra money, it's based on daily periodic rate. And so each day one had more interest, day two had more interest. And
Right.
if you gave them extra money, it might have already got chewed up in interest. So
Wow.
and people give away free money all the time. But if you were giving away free money, wouldn't you want to know?
Yeah.
Well, that's what we show you.
Right,
And so
okay.
we show you if you're giving away money for free. And we try to make sure that you don't do that. And then you can take that $20 and you can actually have it be a $20 impact.
Right.
And that's what Money Max account really does for everybody. And so there's no guessing involved.
Yes,
We
I
don't
love
guess,
that.
right? There's no guessing on anything. And just like the GPS gave you instructions to get to grandma's house, this GPS gives you instructions to get to the zero debt finish line, is what it does. Simple instructions, no jumping jacks or anything like
Right.
that, right? And so simple
And not
instructions.
going out and getting the second job unless you want to really, build up that cash flow. I don't think that anybody needs a second job. I think that, if you're bored or if you just like making money, sure, the extra job's fine. But if you're getting an extra job just to make it month to month, something's wrong. You've got to you got to fix the base problem, what's happening. And it's almost always, in my situation and all the clients I work with, it's the interest you're paying every month.
Well, that's what it is. People don't realize you're probably paying more interest than principal.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Every time, yes.
Yeah, you're probably paying more interest than principal. And if your payment was $100 of interest, well, what if we could help you keep 60% of it, 70%
Right.
of it? That's what we do day in and day out, have for the last couple of decades.
That's awesome.
Right.
And this isn't guesswork. This is a guaranteed product. So if you have your numbers entered and it's telling you what to do and you're doing it, then you are going to get out of debt. And what I think that I love about the system is it tells you your guaranteed payoff date. Let's say, for example, it's the year 2028, if you have smaller debt, 2028 in December, you're going to be out of debt. And if you're following that system, doing those payments when it tells you to, all the guesswork's gone. Now, if you get an extra $10, you know where to put it because MoneyMax will tell you where to put it. It doesn't get any better than that.
Yeah, I agree. Well, that's the whole idea. That's everybody can have financial freedom. Okay, anybody really.
Yeah, but we don't think so because we might make $2,800 a month. You know?
That's the whole idea. I mentioned it multiple times about the most washed part of the body. Everybody always says hands.
All right.
Right, but it's the brain. We
That's
have been brainwashed into thinking this one way, and the bank, that's the bank's way.
Right.
That's what they want you to think, but it is not the most effective way. It's just that's a way to pay your debt, and it's a way that they get to make money. And so yeah, I love. Actually, the truth is if God gave me a pad and a pen and said, hey, I'd like you to go ahead and write out your life the way that you'd want it, okay? Of course, we'd all try to write the bad stuff out, right? But it was all the bad stuff that went on in your life, that went on in my life, that made us where we are right now.
Oh, exactly, yes.
And where I am today is that I can't think of anything that I'd want to do than to help get somebody out of financial.
That's the way I
turmoil.
feel.
Yeah, it's that the debt will take you much further down the road than you ever thought you were going to go.
Yeah, and divorce. I mean, people say
medical issues.
medical for sure.
Yeah.
But people, they'll say, well, divorce is the number one cause of divorce is no longer finances. I completely disagree because I feel like that if people did not have that financial stress over their head, yes, that's what's causing, you to have these arguments and stuff, but you have so much weight on you that all of these other issues are popping up and they're now the problem. That's what we're fighting about. The children are hearing us fight. But what if the base problem is the finances, which it is in a lot of situations?
Well, it is. The two most talked about topics between a husband and wife, money and, well, that other thing.
Well, I'm saying though, I've been in the marriage with the financial stress, and when you don't have enough money to even have a date night once a month, much less,
Right.
once a week, that's serious.
Well, it is, and that's just it. That's why my heart goes out to people, Christy. I've sat and spoke to your clients for, almost 3 years. And I run across your clients that are in their 50s that are just starting to talk about retirement.
Yes.
Yeah, they're just starting. I ran across a 27-year-old, one of your clients, and when I brought up something about retirement, they kind of laughed at me.
Yeah.
They thought, well, man, that's way down the road. And I was like, well, no, retirement comes when you can financially retire.
Yeah.
That individual could have retired by the time they were 40. They just didn't.
Right.
They just didn't realize it.
If you're saving 20 years on your mortgage payment, then hello, how early can you retire?
Yeah. Plus, if you don't have any debt, your boss better behave. Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you don't have any debt, you might have some special words because you don't have any debt.
Right.
Okay. Hey, you know what? I can take this job anywhere.
Yeah.
But I run across these people, and then I run across people that are 70, and they
That's sad.
they still are
Been
in debt
all
And
their lives.
You know what? There are still, and actually some people have the parent student loan.
Yes,
grandparents'
that
student loan.
Parent Plus.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
And so
Oh
they're
my
stuck.
goodness.
They're still stuck there, and now here they are, 70 years old, still trying to figure it out. And now they're talking about attaching Social Security. The what? We already don't give seniors enough money anyway.
Exactly.
And now you're going to attach student debt to Social Security. I mean, what do you got? What congressman ever thought of that idea? I mean, he should be out in a heartbeat.
That's so sad.
But right, because again, it's all about taking care of the banks, and not take care of the people. You or us, okay, we're the weirdos in the world.
I'm wanting to get out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we want to get out,
Yeah.
right? And so we're the crazy ones. Everybody else is just, okay, hey, here's what it is. But everybody can be out of debt.
Yeah, and they don't understand that.
Right, and I saw in there, someone said, does it cost money? You know what, it's sad, but technology does cost money. Okay, so technology is going to cost something.
But let me say this, in all honesty, I have watched this happen over and over and over. And like I said, I have studied Money Max now for 3 years almost. And I have yet to see that the interest saved on the debt did not actually pay for the Money Max within the first 3 to 4 months. And I mean, I think 6 months is like your average. But my people that I work with are paying so much interest that when you compare what they're throwing away right now in interest every month compared to what the Money Max ends up costing, it's like you don't even feel that you ever paid for anything.
Yeah.
And did I not ask John that today, why he keeps his prices so low on that?
Yeah.
Because that is, I mean, that is such a game changer. It is such a relief for people, and it saves so much money that the cost of the system doesn't compare. No, 20 years of mortgage, come on.
I know.
I mean, even if you're paying $100 a month for your mortgage payment, and when that's gone and you don't have to pay that last 20 years, you're talking about a real game changer, guys. I'm telling you.
True.
He is going to take your email if you have questions. It's moneymaxguy@gmail.com. Feel free to write him. Ask him questions. Ask him to set up a personal analysis just for you, what your money looks like, your income, your expenses, what those interest rates are on your debt, and get some answers. If he doesn't have an answer that makes you jump up and down with joy and run across the room, then tell him no thank you. But I think you're going to be super, super surprised when you have your own analysis run and you see what that looks like. And you know what I like about this guy is you're not only in it. I mean, you're not like selling. I'm not a salesman. I excuse me if you're a salesman, but I'm just not like you. I cannot sell nothing, and I don't want to. But you're not selling something. You are giving people an option, especially the ones that cannot even get a line of credit. I mean, if you can't get a line of credit, you're stuck for a minute, you know?
Yes, you are.
Money Max opens up that door big and wide and says, do you have $1 of cash flow? If you are, let's see what we can do for you. And that is why I brought him on today, is to discuss that with you for a minute, because you may be the one. And now let's just don't leave it there. It helps everybody.
It helps everybody. That's right.
Even if you're, and most of my real estate investors are in it because they have, 5, 6, 7, 8 mortgages on those, and Money Max can attack all of that at one time. So it doesn't matter if you're, if you are broke today, or if you, bring in $25,000 a month and you have 8 properties and you're renting. It doesn't matter. It can help you eliminate the debt. One I'm thinking about in New York City, I won't say his name, but he had 13 properties, and you ended up with the Money Max. It ended up getting him out of debt in about 13 years.
Yeah.
And I was like,
I know.
and he was like, and we were all were like, wow. So yes, the real estate investors are certainly gaining more properties because they're
yeah.
using the Money Max.
Yeah, well, actually, and we show people how to get the rental property.
Yeah,
We show them
that's
out, we
beautiful.
walk them through. There's gonna be a lot of people, think about it, you're 50 years old, you have no prospect for what retirement's gonna be, your only hope is gonna be Social Security. So that means it's gonna be pretty much tuna. Okay, you know.
Cat
tuna,
food.
Yeah, tuna for the rest of your life. But what if I could help you find one rental and I could get it paid off maybe over the next 7 or 8 years? And all you were getting on it was just a couple $1,000s a month plus your Social Security. And all you did was just manage the money through Money Max. You didn't do anything. It wasn't your
awesome.
money. You didn't put your money in.
Right.
Got you to borrow the money, right? And so it wasn't your money. And I borrowed the money, but I eliminated the bulk of the interest. Now the home pays off quick, and all of a sudden you have a rental income for the rest of your life.
That's awesome.
Well, I've done that with multiples of your clients.
I know you have. I get
And
the
so-
emails. I get
Yeah.
emails every day, people saying, you know, thank you so much for introducing me to Rick or whoever with the Money Max
Yeah.
because it has completely changed the way I do my finances. You're not getting the second job, but that's what's important. They're not changing the lifestyle that you're living. They are showing you where the interest is being thrown away, and they're helping you to eliminate most of that, which now all of your income is going to pay off your debt instead of the interest. I mean, I don't know who I'm talking to out there that doesn't understand that those monthly payments that you're making is where your cash flow's going. But when you figure that out and you sit down and you look at the numbers, and please know your numbers, it's so important that you know how much is coming in, how much is going out. But be assured that if you're that person that feels like you're drowning in debt, and there's no way out, like I have felt, oh my gosh, so much in my time, you are going to get help. You are going to get free. You just have to use a strategy that's right for you. And you know, Money Max may be your option. Totally just an option that we're throwing out there for you to look at. If you've tried everything else, or if you're just completely loaded and the bank won't deal with you, whatever it is, get your free personal analysis, see what they say, and then you can walk away knowing, well, I tried that option, or yeah, that's going to work for me. You'll be able to make an educated decision. That's what we want to do, is make decisions, okay?
Very true.
All right.
MoneyMax Guy at Gmail.
Yes.
Okay, MoneyMaxGuy@gmail. If you send me an email, if you've got a worksheet from Christy and you've already got it filled out, put on the interest rates. Make sure you put those on there for me. Also, go ahead and if you've got escrow inside of your monthly payment, go ahead and put down whatever that escrow is. And then shoot that over to me. Tell me about how you get paid. You get paid every week, every other week? Let me know what that is. And let me enter that data for you just to see what it means. I'll send you back a report that will give you the answer about what it would do for you, is what I'll do.
That's all it
You don't
is.
have to have an appointment with me. You don't have to have anything. I'll give you the answer that you're looking for. And then if you want to talk more about it, then we'll talk more about it. Because you don't have to, you know, and I don't know how to say this any other way other than the thoughts that we've had in the past regarding our money has us where we are today.
Yes.
If we don't like where we are today, then we need to get different thoughts so that we can have a better tomorrow.
Exactly.
And that's what I'm here for.
Well,
And so-
I appreciate him. Like I said, this guy works with you to go deep dive. Let's find out what's wrong and let's see how Money Max can help. And I hope that you guys that are interested, if you're about to lose your home, for goodness sake, moneymaxguy@gmail.com. Email him today. And like he said, send my worksheet over to him and he'll get your numbers run and he'll get in touch with you. All right, guys, we're going to jump off of here. I hope that you guys have a great rest of your weekend. We're just here to help. That's all this information, that's all this channel is for, is to get you some information that can help you to get free. And I appreciate you guys. I see your comments. I appreciate your kindness. Yes, I still do one-on-ones, but you don't need a one-on-one. The information on the channel is completely free. Watch the videos. I'm sure there's a scenario in there for you. He's going to give you a free personal analysis, so figure out which strategies for you before you jump into it, and let's get you the real help that you need for your finances. I want to thank you guys for joining us today, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Thank you, Rick.
Yeah, it was a pleasure. Thank you.